Georgia Tan kidnapped and then sold an estimated 5,000 babies between 1924 and 1950. 5,000. This is certainly beyond shocking and unsettling to hear, but how she got away with it, and how she got away with it for so long, only adds to the terrifying nature of this truly staggering story, which is actually hard to believe is 100% true. Tan pulled off her brazen scheme through operating the Tennessee Children's Home Society, a society which, on the surface, was doing the Lord's work, finding homes for orphaned children. In reality, it worked as a cover for Tan to funnel children into her care, only for her to turn around and sell them on the black market for extreme profit. In the nearly 30 years Tan and the society were in operation, she managed to kidnap and sell an estimated 5,000 babies. These weren't orphaned children placed under her care. They were stolen right from under their parents' noses. How? How could anyone get away with kidnapping and selling children for nearly 30 years right here in America? She did it with help from friends in high places. She took children who came from poor families, for the simple reason that poor families at the time didn't have the necessary resources to search for one of their children should they go missing. If families did file a report, Georgia Tan would have it handled by her close friend E.H. Crump, a powerful tycoon and the so-called boss of Memphis. Crump would make sure the reports of missing children were ignored. She also had an elaborate system for taking newborn babies from hospitals and mental wards, bribing doctors and nurses to help her take the children, and then tell their unsuspecting parents that their baby was stillborn. Tan would take off with the baby, with the child's parents believing their newborn to be deceased. She even had a system for snatching children right off the street. She took children from churches or daycare centers while they played with their friends. They'd end up in the arms of a uniformed social worker under Tan's employ, and they'd never be seen by their birth parents again. Once the children were under her care, and their parents were none the wiser, Tan would wipe their identities and sell them to couples looking to adopt, leaving them completely in the dark about where the child came from by falsifying or destroying their documents. Tan pocketed millions of dollars selling children to out-of-state couples, charging a $5,000 premium on out-of-state adoptions. Almost 90% of her sales, which in this context, sales is a truly disgusting word, went to wealthy couples in New York and Los Angeles who could afford the steep pricing of Tan's services, including actress Joan Crawford, who adopted her twin daughters from Tan. It should be noted none of the adoptive parents had any chance to suspect what they were doing was wrong. On its face, Tan's operation was a legitimate adoption agency. Of course, simply adopting a baby and then never having questions about where that child came from isn't possible. But if the adoptive parents ever questioned Tan about issues that arose, things like missing birth certificates or clearly falsified medical histories, Tan had an answer. If the new parents ever had any suspicion that anything fishy was going on, Tan would threaten them with legal action through one of her major accomplices, family court judge Camille Kelly. Judge Kelly used her position of power to sanction Tan's activities and threaten the adoptive parents with taking away their adoptive children if they continued to make a fuss or ask questions. They would also be threatened with being roped into whatever legal ramifications Tan may or may not have faced. I mean, they did use her services, so technically they were involved in an illegal enterprise themselves. And here was a judge telling them they were complicit. Needless to say, this blackmail coming from the US judicial system itself made a lot of folks go quiet. Tan was so powerful and wealthy, so highly regarded as a steward of ridding adoption of its negative stigma at the time, and so well connected. No accusations or rumblings of misconduct ever stuck. The story is so insane that it's hard to even frame it or tell it in a way that makes any sense whatsoever, but it's completely real. It happened, and it affected thousands of lives right here in America. To make it even more insane and unbelievable, one of those children that Tan and her agency kidnapped and sold to unsuspecting adoptive parents was professional wrestling legend, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. And in the end, Tan and Judge Kelly and E.H. Crump and everyone else who knew it was truly going on at the Tennessee Children's Home Society got away with it. None of them ever faced charges. Tan died of cancer at 59. Judge Kelly and E.H. Crump both died shortly thereafter in 1954 and 1955 respectively. None of the children they kidnapped were ever returned to their biological parents.
Thanks for watching this video. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more of history's weirdness that you won't find in your textbooks. All those textbooks that you had to give back. No one has their textbooks anymore, right? I don't have mine. Anyway, there's this video here. There's this one here. There's more stuff here. There's more good stuff. If you liked it, stick around.